What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to the Session Zero, the first episode of our new Imp Tab Avatar campaign, Varrick World.
Woo!
I am Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I'm joined by...
Connor Wood, encompassing John DiMaggio from Futurama. Because he's a bender.
Yeah. Oh, my word.
Hey.
I love that. Justin Porter, a.k.a. JP, and I'm ready to go to the happiest place in the world of Avatar.
Thomas Ryan, and I'm here too.
Aren't we all?
Yep.
So, yeah, we have alluded a bit to some of what is going to be happening, sort of the general theme of this campaign. So let's just start talking about what that is going to be. This is going to be taking place in the era of Avatar Korra. We are going to be playing after all of the TV show has happened, after all the comics have happened, and the premise of this is that good old Iknik Blackstone Varrick, that lovable scamp, that film magnate, and also occasional war criminal, decided that, well, he's having a bit of a complicated life right now. His wife is the president, Julie is the president. That's a thing that happened in the comics that you should probably be aware of. For a while, he was helping to teach at a local university, and we have decided that he eventually decided that he wanted to continue to expand his enterprises a little bit more. And what does somebody do in the real world when they are an incredibly powerful and rich film magnate? They make a theme park. So that is what has happened also in Republic City. Varrick has created the Avatarverse's first giant theme park, and that is where this campaign is going to be taking place.
What a sentence.
What a sentence indeed. So the way that we've decided this theme park is to be constructed is we looked at like all the different districts in Republic City, and we were thinking, where is he going to build this thing? And we're like, it's Varrick. He is ostentatious. He's going to build a theme park in the middle of UA Bay, completely floating on the water. So this is a floating theme park kept aloft by the aid of earthbenders creating pillars and waterbenders consistently like renewing ice that helps the thing to float on top of UA Bay. So pretty wild time. Varrick is taking out all the stops for this here venture that he's on now. So, with the fact that we are in a theme park, this surely is going to lead to no shortage of antics and hijinks, and I am very excited to see what those antics and hijinks look like. As far as the particulars of what this here theme park is going to kind of look like, the idea is it's sort of a miniaturized version of the Four Nations as a whole. So you've got like little mini air temple, you've got a little mini fire nation, little mini earth kingdom, etc., etc. And in the center is also kind of a little mini representation of the spirit world, because we've got that huge spirit portal in the middle of Republic City now, and the relationship between the spirits and the humans in Republic City is still a little bit tense. They delve into that a little more in one of the comic book series that follows the TV series. So it's a little bit weird, but because humans, broadly speaking, are not allowed to go actually into the spirit world through the spirit portal, they come to Varrick World instead to see some quote-unquote authentic spirit world type experiences.
Cool.
Have we planned anything further than that? No, I have specifically stopped myself from planning anything further than that because this is improv tabletop.
Woo! Right.
Now, to figure out who is going to be inhabiting this here theme park, let's go around the horn and start introducing some of our characters. And we will also, as we're doing so, kind of figure out what that implies about the world of this theme park that we're going to be inhabiting moving forward. And so let's start with Connor. Can you tell us about your character?
Yes, I can. My name is Marian. I am a boy, if you can believe that. I'm an earthbender who has a passion for entertaining, and this passion has led me to the sweet, sweet art of puppetry. So I like to utilize my bending to create these little puppet-esque figures, do some performing, maybe a little fighting. I don't know. But he has a deep love for entertaining and for finding joy and fun in things.
Yeah, and you are a metal bender as well, if I recall correctly?
Yes. So I'm an earthbender with metal bending.
Yeah, it helps out a lot with your marionettes that you are controlling here.
That I do.
And
I just got the name.
So yeah, another fun thing that this kind of implies about Varrick World is the existence of some degree of animatronics that we're going to be dealing with here. And that is kind of, initially, we have these puppets that are created from earth and from metal that people can manipulate through their earthbending. But with some other recent technological advances, we're starting to look at the possibility of having some radio-controlled animatronics here in the theme park.
Heck yeah.
Now, what are some other things that you think might be interesting to our audience to know about good old Marian?
Sure. So Marian has really found his love in entertaining and this kind of like playfulness started a little bit out of necessity. So he was, a bit of a street urchin, not always in with the best crowd. But he found that what got him through poverty and, the loss of his family and this, that, whatever, was finding those small, simple joys. So I would imagine the concept of an amusement park was incredibly attractive for him. And I think he/me, we have lots of plans for said park. And I'm very excited to see what kind of puppeteering happens.
Yes, this is something that I don't believe I've talked about with any of you so far, but this is Improv Tabletop, so let's do it on the spot.
Let's get it!
How do you think Marian got in contact with Varrick?
Ooh, okay, so not to pull the curtain back too far, but I would say it was likely an assignment from some friends. This is a big idea, so I think it's hard to keep this entirely under wraps. I will say Marian was more than likely sent to learn as much as he can about this place, kind of get integrated with it all, and see where the puppetry can fit in with all that. So I imagine it was, one part assignment, one part, this sounds like his total jam.
So, showed up one day with an application and a bunch of fancy puppets and just wowed the man with your skill.
Effectively, yeah. I brought a bunch of rocks and weird metal sticks, and I was like, "Sir, watch this." And then I did a cool, epic show for him.
And then Varrick was like, "You got spunk, kid. I like it. You got a job here."
Yep.
So we've got Marian helping out with sort of the behind-the-scenes Imagineering sort of aspect of the theme park, as it were.
Right.
Okay, let's go on over to JP then. Can you tell us about your character?
Yes. So these guys all know me when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons or any role-playing game that's not Improv Tabletop. I do not very much actual backstory because I learned a lot playing the game.
Sure.
So my character is a pretty basic introduction. His name is Shen Xiaoxing. He is not a bender, but he hails from the Earth Kingdom. And he has a secret that nobody else knows, but his alter ego is Spider Batman.
You don't say.
And he's a superhero by night.
Doing some vigilante justice here in Varrick World.
Yes.
So the thing that is fun to me that this implies about Varrick World is that there is an after dark criminal, when all of the normal people go home or to their resorts, there are walking the streets all kinds of triads trying to do their business in this microcosm world, because we got all these triads out there in the city as well, but here's a perfect place to fleece some tourists.
Oh, yeah.
To try and make an easy buck here and there.
Yeah, and I'm excited to find out who my nemesis is. I'm sure that it's going to come up. There's going to be some sort of superhero nemesis.
Yeah. Do you want to share maybe a little bit about the history of Spider Batman, or do you want to leave that for later on?
Yeah, I think I'll leave a lot of information for later on, but he is mild-mannered while he's Shen Xiaoxing, which we had to do the alliteration because that's a superhero thing. Peter Parker, Matt Murdock, all that stuff. Yes, so he's mild-mannered as Shen Xiaoxing, but as Spider Batman, he's more serious and Batman-like, and yeah.
And if I recall correctly, we talked about during the day, because you've got a day job, you work at Varrick World, and so by day, Shen is the guy who puts on the Nuktuk costume and goes and greets people, that kind of stuff.
He's a face character at Varrick World.
So yeah, masked by day and also masked by night.
Exactly.
Okay, is there anything else that you want us to know about Shen Xiaoxing at this point? I know you've got a lot of secrets, so don't reveal too much, but anything else you want us to know about?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, that is our good friend Shen, the Spider Batman. And then finally, let's go around to Thomas. What you got for us?
I got a little freak. That's what I got. That's
true.
I am playing Grandma Halmoni, a spirit from the spirit world. She does not have a corporeal form and is essentially a living puddle of tea.
Whoa.
She also loves robots, so she lives inside of robo-suits and does her grandma thing.
Awesome.
Yep, so it's a good thing that there's lots of animatronics here in Varrick World so that you can just swapperino yourself between robot to robot depending on what kind of body you want to have at the moment.
Yeah, that's the grandma lifestyle, and I'm living it.
Oh, yeah.
Listeners, there's nothing in the book about playing a spirit that can possess animatronics, believe it or not. But we're doing it anyway. Is there anything else that you want us to know about Grandma Halmoni?
I have given zero thought to her backstory. The extent I've given it is Grandma Halmoni is a living puddle of tea that lives in robots. She was born in Iroh's teapot.
Yeah.
In the spirit world.
So yeah, this particular one, the last person we saw owning it was Iroh, but it goes all the way back to Avatar 1, the teapot that he held Rava in way back in the day.
That's really cool.
Another thing that we should probably mention about these characters is your playbooks. I just realized.
Yeah, that seems relevant.
So Grandma Halmoni is the outcast.
Yes, she was kicked out of the spirit world.
Womp womp.
Grandma Halmoni was... things happened that I don't know yet, but she got kicked out of the spirit world, and now she lives here.
In the middle of Varrick World, and it'll be very interesting to see, to eventually learn why Grandma Halmoni got kicked out of the spirit world. But yeah, some cool things about being the outcast. Your balance track is between society and integrity. For those of our listeners who are not as familiar with Avatar Legends, you have a balance. There are these two principles that are kind of pulling you in somewhat opposite directions, but they're both things that mean a lot to you, so that's kind of a fun internal struggle thing like we often see with characters in the Avatarverse. But you also have this really cool ability where you're able to, because you're an outsider, kind of look at other cultures and learn things about them and be able to, like, the more you try to understand different cultures, the more advantages you can have interacting with people from those different cultures. And also your training is technology.
That is correct, yes, because I live in robots. And also I don't live in robots just because that was what was there. Grandma Halmoni loves robots.
Maybe part of why Grandma Halmoni got kicked out of the spirit world. Who knows?
Maybe. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, this also brings up another thing that we might potentially get into is that in Republic City, they released a whole source book all about it, and there are a few different sub-rule systems that they added. One of those being the introduction of mecha suits.
Yeah. Which is just crazy. Honestly, I love it.
Yeah, I love the idea of these like Power Rangers Super Sentai style, like you go to Varrick World and they've got the performances that they're doing, so every so often you get to see a whole bunch of robots like wrestling each other Earth Rumble 6 style.
Yeah.
Wait, can I get a Gundam?
Theoretically.
Theoretically?
Once we get that first paycheck from Varrick World.
I don't get paid.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. Technically speaking, Varrick doesn't know that I work at this place.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not an employee per se,
Yeah.
but I do live here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that is a good question. How much do you want Varrick to know about the fact that you are possessing his robots?
I mean, like, will he kick me out? Probably. So I don't want him to know it.
So you are very much just flying under the radar as much as
Yeah.
possible.
I'm a sneaky puddle, and I'm not getting caught today.
Not today. But yeah, we will at some point have to go over the rules for mecha. Essentially, it's not too different from just the standard rules, but you have the suit that gives you a lot of cool new abilities and stuff. Nothing as big as like Kuvira's mecha giant that she attacked Public City with. So if you're if that's what you're thinking of when you say, "Can I have a Gundam?" then no.
No, I'm a puddle. I'd have to be able to spread myself out far enough to possess it. I can't.
Yeah.
I can fit in something roughly Chuck E. Cheese size.
Delightful.
Good frame of reference.
Oh, man. Now, bringing it back, let's kind of whip back around in opposite order back to JP's character. Your playbook that you have selected is The Foundling.
It is. That is part of my backstory. And then also, like you were going into trainings, this is something that we'll find out later, but I have training in weapons and firebending. Oh, I don't know what that's all about because I don't have any bending abilities, so. And I'm also from the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah, all kinds of superhero backstory. But yeah, having these two trainings, this is part of your double heritage ability that you get as part of the Foundling playbook, where you come from two different cultures and you integrate things from both of those cultures into one. And how that has actually played out, we will have to discover as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
But your fighting style when you are the Spider-Batman is you've got a pair of boomerangs, correct?
Right. Double boomerangs. Like, I like to envision him like Nightwing.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 batons. Or Daredevil, I guess. Both of them do that, so.
Nice. And I don't believe we asked you, how do you think you ended up with this job at Varrick World?
Well, I applied as like the Varrick World college program.
Nice.
But I'd like to think that I have ulterior motives for Spider-Batman to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cover that it's the Varrick World college program.
Yeah, so you got in because you were a student at Bossing Say University,
Yep.
but you're still here for different reasons.
Right.
Okay, and then boomeranging back around to Connor, your playbook is the Razor.
I am the Razor. TM. So I'm able to give you a clean shave and...
Wow.
No. So this is fun mechanically because, there's sort of the yin-yang balance in your character. I start leaning towards one of those, a little more further down than just your neutral, like flat 0, which is where most playbooks start. So I'm quite excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what all to say about the Razor, but my understanding of the playbook is he is honed to a razor's edge with a few specific skill sets. And yeah, I'm quite excited to see how that integrates into his character.
Yeah. And any of our listeners who have listened to 10,000 Things might remember that Amar was the Razor. That was his playbook.
Oh, cool.
That kind of inherent to playing the Razor is a certain degree of, I maybe have done some stuff that I'm not proud of, and I'm trying to make amends for that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what the specific details of that are, we'll probably not talk about now, but hopefully will get revealed later on as we go through this campaign.
Word.
So yeah, another thing that I just want to mention is I've encouraged each of these players to come up with a few different things for their character that is external from what we have on our character sheets. That is to come up with a short, very immediate goal they can work towards, a broader long-term goal that they can work towards, and also to have at least one major secret that is being kept from the rest of the players. So even though we all as players know that Shen is actually Spider-Batman, there's going to be some other secrets that not even Connor or Thomas are going to know that hopefully I will know so that I can find a way to work it into the campaign. But yeah, another thing that I want to get into during this session 0 is get our connections all set up. So in Avatar Legends, for each of the playbooks, there are 2 different slots for connections, and it'll be a statement. I'm looking at Connor's sheet right now. So one of these statements is, blank seems to be able to connect to other people openly, freely, and easily. I wish they would show me how. And this is a way to just right off the bat make sure that all of your characters have a reason to know each other and to be working together. And we haven't filled these in yet. I would like to do that at this point during our session 0, so we can start to get a sense of the group dynamic between these characters. And so I guess while we're on Connor, that one that we just mentioned, who do you think seems to be able to connect with other people openly, freely, and easily?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Grandma, most likely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like the cut of your jib, Grandma.
Hey, thank you, dearie.
Deary.
Ooh boy, this is gonna be something.
Strong start with character voice.
Yes. And so then presumably the second one, I see blank as lacking control. Maybe I can help hone them at least a little bit. Would we say that perhaps a vigilante superhero might be a little lacking control at times?
I would say so. Yeah, I think so.
All right. So Shen goes into that slot there.
How do you spell Shen? Is that with an X or SH?
It's a CHEN.
Oh, cool.
And then Shaoxing is CHAOXING.
Sweet, I'm gonna stick with Shen.
All right. Now, speaking of Shen Shaoxing, your first connection says, blank seems to think one of my heritages should be valued more. There's something persuasive in their words. Because again, you've got those 2 separate heritages. The reason why you have weapon specialism and also firebending specialism, even though you're not actually a bender. So do you think that Marion or Grandma would view one of those 2 heritages as needing to be valued more?
I'm going to say Grandma for that one.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, dearie.
Oh boy. I'll get used to that one of these days. And then the other one that you have is blank is so awesome with skills and heritage I've never seen. I want to learn all I can about them and their background.
That right there is, shoot, you said Marion? Or
Marion? Marion? I don't know.
Marion. Yeah, to make it a little bit less on the nose, I think Marion is kind of fun.
Yeah, like Mario with an N.
Mario with an N. Okay, Marion.
Yeah, and it sounds a little bit more Avatarverse than Marion.
Yes, Marion.
Okay, so those are JP's connections, and now going on to Grandma Halmoni, your first connection is blank fits in with other people easily and comfortably. They remind me of the community I lost and want to get closer to them.
I think that's very clearly Shen Xiaoxing.
Nice.
And then your second connection is blank holds very closely and deeply to beliefs that I cannot understand or agree with. I need to force them to confront that other people see the world differently.
I mean, that's pretty clearly Varrick.
I mean, that makes sense.
But I guess Marion's a good stand-in.
Yeah, I suppose that, being kind of this spiritually inclined person and also this very maternal person, maybe you have just a little bit of a sense of there's something going on underneath the surface with Marion that's maybe not quite great.
Yeah, what you said.
Cool.
I agree.
Very good. So yeah, that is all of our characters, their playbooks, their connections with each other. And so I suppose the last thing that I specifically want to get into, and then maybe we can talk about if there's any other stuff we want to talk about in this session 0, is how did you all meet each other? Like, obviously, your coworkers slash intruders who are technically working, but without Varrick's knowledge. But like, how within the structure of the theme park, because it's a big theme park with a lot of moving pieces, how did you meet these folks?
I have an idea on a connection with myself and Grandma. I work very intimately with these animatronics, puppets, etc. I would imagine I have noticed probably more than Varrick that there have been some odd movements here and there. And I would imagine, like, for Marion, that's really cool and I want to learn more about that. So maybe we do establish some sort of connection, conversation, whatever. But I would say for Grandma and myself, it's probably just through interaction of the mechs, or puppets.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, honestly, for me, just because, like, I'm kind of a detective of sorts.
Ah, yes.
So I noticed there's something else going weird with the stuff.
What if, I don't know, what if we just have our office near each other? What do? Do you have an office?
Me, dearie? I don't have an office.
Oh, no, not you, T.
I live in robots.
The corporeal one.
No, I imagine I don't get an office. I imagine I have a locker, though.
Maybe your locker's in my office.
Yeah, it's just like, because it's like I'm just a college intern, you know.
Yeah.
So they don't give me anything. They give me a locker and that's it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I love, like, there are obviously the mover stars who are like the high profile performers.
Yeah.
They get their own dressing rooms and stuff, but then the college interns, it's like, well, we ran out of space in the dressing room, so here's a locker. We tossed it in this mechanic's office.
Yep.
Hey, I'm the sweaty puppeteer. How you doing?
And I'm always like also like looking over my shoulders every time I look in the locker, because I also keep some stuff that I don't want anybody else to see.
Oh, cool.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of beneficial for you that your locker is secluded in a distant part away from all the other performers.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So one thing that I want to look at real quick is the opinions that each of you have towards Grandma Halmoni, where, like, Marion, you kind of mentioned that you think it's cool that there's this spirit who has this ability to move these puppets.
Yes.
But Shen, you being more of the justice-oriented type, how do you think Shen feels about the fact that there is a spirit possessing these machines?
I would say that I'm cautious, just because, one, I don't know how the spirit is, like, what's their backstory, like why they're operating here or anything like that, you know, like
I just really like robots, dearie.
If I was to believe everybody at face value, I wouldn't be the superhero that I am.
I don't technically have a face.
True.
That's true.
Oh, man.
My bubbles foam in such a way that it resembles a face.
I don't trust anything that I can't read the face, so.
Sure.
You can read my tea leaves, dear.
But I imagine there's kind of this sense of like, okay, Marion, my co-working space friend thinks that this tea spirit is okay. So, like, we're on good terms in public, but I got my eyes on you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Perfectly understandable. Can I have a teacup I can live in?
Why not?
Or even a teapot if you're feeling generous.
Yeah, just like a kettle sitting there on Marian's desk or something.
It's always hot.
Phenomenal cosmic power, but
So, I mean, we even got your headquarters. It's just straight up Marian's office is where your headquarters is.
Sure. That's our secret base.
Cool.
His very public office.
Yeah.
Tons of interns come through every day, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I guess another thought is, as far as living arrangements, do you guys want to have like apartments actually in Varrick World, or do you want to be like going back and forth to the mainland?
I figure I'd probably be in Varrick World.
I was gonna say I probably started this job with the intention of like commuting, but I imagine I stay in my office like the whole week.
I have a thermos I go to on the weekends.
Yeah.
Man, I imagine that Marian's the kind of person where just after a while he set up a cot in his office and was like, I just do so much work anyway, I'm just gonna hang around here.
Yeah, under my desk, because I've fallen asleep at my desk enough times where it's just, okay.
I feel like Granny's just waiting to retire in a thermos in the ocean so that she could just be cruising. You know?
Nice mug by the seaside.
All right. So that is our characters, their abilities, how they know each other, their roles at Varrick World. Are there any other final things that any of you would like to share about your characters or to develop about the world and this team before we wrap this up?
No, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I plan on leaning into the Imagineering thing quite a bit, but outside of that, I don't know.
Is Varrick alive?
Oh, good question.
Varrick is alive, in fact, yes.
Okay, because I know, like, this is obviously a Disney World ripoff. Walt Disney's frozen head is underneath Disney World.
Right.
So I didn't know if Varrick's frozen head was underneath Varrick World.
And that has been proven.
Oh, it's not. My living head is currently above Varrick World, but someday, don't you worry.
This is where I'll spend the afterlife.
There's a plan. Here's a plan book, and it's called Do the Thing.
Yeah. I also just love the dynamic that Julie is literally the president of Republic City now, and Varrick is off just building theme parks in the middle of UA Bay.
You go, Queen. I'm gonna build a park.
Okay. Well, with that, I suppose it's about time to bring this session 0 to an end. And the next time you hear from us, we will be doing some actual sessions in the world of Republic City and Varrick World specifically. We'll come up with some interesting quest hooks based on the goals and desires of our characters and see where that takes us. But for now, thanks for listening, everybody, to our session 0. I have been Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I've been joined by
Connor Wood, Earthbender.
Justin Porter, a.k.a. JP, and I'm Spider-Batman.
And Thomas Ryan as Grandma Helmoni.
Much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on ImpTab Avatar.
I couldn't think of a good way to describe what she looks like, so I just got a picture of Mrs. Doubtfire and put it in there.